What if I told you that there's a scale you can use that will make everything you play ultra musical and super expressive? I wouldn't believe it either, except that for the last 6 months, that's all I've been using. And it's made a massive difference in my playing. Everything I do sounds ultra expressive. It just sounds like me. So grab a guitar because I'm going to show you exactly how it works. It's really easy, fun. You're going to love this. Really quick, if you're new to the channel, welcome. My name is David Wallimann. I've been playing guitar professionally for 35 plus years. Along the way, I discovered a lot of really cool things, and that's what this channel is all about, helping you express yourself on the guitar. Now, speaking of expressing yourself on the guitar, I need to tell you about a brand new workshop I just published. It's a brand new thing. It's a 3-part workshop, and it talks just about that, how to express yourself on the guitar. The workshop is quite in depth, and it's completely free. It's really going to help you in your playing, and the workshop will talk about developing your ideas, finding your ideas, what it means to have tone in your fingers. You're gonna love it. It's free. The link is in the description of this video. But for now, let's get into this lesson. All right, we need to address, first of all, what it means to be expressive. Now, there's a lot of ideas out there. It can mean a lot of different things, but I'm gonna give you my definition. Now let's look at what that means to be expressive in your own voice. I have my own expression when I'm talking to you. That's what helps you distinguish my voice from someone else. And what makes it unique is a combination of a lot of things: my vocal cords, my accent, my speech impediment maybe, I just did it there, lots of little things. And really, it's the uniqueness that makes me expressive. We could see that uniqueness as, in a way, imperfect. I beg to differ. I think there is perfection in those imperfections, but that's kind of the main idea. And that's what makes you recognize robot speaking. Even AI is not quite there yet. You can still hear that it's AI. Rick Beato had a great video on that topic just a few weeks ago. I agree with him. You can kind of hear AI. Well, he can hear it. His son could. Anyways, the idea is that in order to sound expressive on the instrument, you need to be somewhat imperfect. Let's first define what perfection means for our purpose here on the instrument. I'm going to pick a note on the 3rd string, 7th fret, for example. If I play that note as it is, I've got the right amount of pressure on my left hand. I strike the note. I'm not adding any kind of like vibrato bends or anything like that. I'm trying to have a pure, perfect note. And if I play that way, it's kind of a perfect way of playing things. Now I can add some expression by altering that perfection. And there's a lot of different routes, right? I can look at the rhythm way of playing things maybe a little bit before the beat, after the beat, things like that. I can also add maybe a little vibrato, a little bend. There's a lot of ways of doing that. What we're gonna do in this video is focus on the pitches. We're gonna make our pitches imperfect. However, this is really important. Even though we're gonna start with imperfect notes, you need to try to make them as perfect as you can. I'm gonna tell you right now, you're not gonna be able to do that. You won't be able to reach that perfection. But that's why it works so well. When you're trying to suggest a perfect pitch, you're gonna automatically bring out a little bit of imperfection, but just enough to make your line sound ultra expressive. Okay, let's get super practical. Let me show you how it works. I'm gonna start with the backing track here. We are in A, Aeolian, A minor. We're gonna use this position right here that you're seeing on the screen. If I play these notes perfectly, well, I'm gonna play the notes on the screen. We don't want that. We wanna make those notes imperfect. We're gonna start those notes the wrong way. So what is the best way to make a scale imperfect? Well, slide it down 1 fret. That's gonna be really imperfect for you. Yeah, correct? Right, but remember, we're starting from a place of imperfection, and we're gonna try to make these notes perfect. It's really important that you don't reach that perfectness, because in those little imperfections, that's where your expression is gonna come out. So that eliminates one option, because one option to make these notes perfect is to start with one of these imperfect notes and slide into a perfect one. But by doing this, we are reaching that perfect note. Remember, we're trying not to do that. We want to get as close as possible to that perfect note without reaching it exactly. adding those tiny little micro imperfections that are not even perceived by the ear, but those are going to add a lot of expression to your playing. So we are eliminating the slide technique. We're going to go with the other one, which is going to automatically add those little imperfections, and that's going to be bends. So the idea here, and no matter how great of a bender you are, you're not going to reach that perfection. So let's go to that exercise. We're going to start with the imperfect scale, 1 fret below, and we're going to bend each note a half step above to make or to try to reach that perfect note as best as we can. Back with our backing track, we start at the bad note and try to make it right, bending it a half step above. Next note. Not exactly perfect, but I'm trying to suggest that perfection by maybe adding a little bit of vibrato too. Okay, already you can hear some of that expressive juice happening, right? When I'm trying to make the imperfect as perfect as I can, never really reaching it. Okay, so how do you use that? Well, you kind of use it like a spice. It's got to start with where you're at on the instrument. Your licks, your phrases, your ideas, all of that stays. But every once in a while, you're going to slip back into this imperfect scale, 1 fret below, and make it right by bending it a half step above. This will work with anything, by the way, but Aeolian, if you're not comfortable with that Aeolian scale, you can also use the A minor pentatonic scale because we find a hidden minor pentatonic within that Aeolian scale. Maybe we'll start with this kind of a lick here. It's extracted from the minor pentatonic scale, and we'll inject some of those wrong notes and make them right. So maybe the last note, we'll go 1 fret below and bend to suggest this right note. It's a little imperfect, it's not exactly right. We hear that note in there, we hear the perfect note in there somewhere, but I am kind of hovering above it and below it. So the idea is to take very simple phrases, start with the ones that you already have, some of the licks you already have under your fingers, and make them imperfect by injecting some wrong notes. Let's try some of those ideas with the backing track. So I'm just going to stick to that area of the fretboard, and I'm going to try to use simple lines that are breathable, that can be played as I'm breathing out. If I keep playing and I'm running out of breath, the line is too long. It's a good length. I could sing that. I did it right there. Now here's the thing, there's a danger that when you're doing this kind of thing, it sounds forced. You don't want that. You want it to sound super natural. The best way to doing that is to combine that with what I call the breathing technique. You can learn all about it here and much more. That's the workshop I told you about it. It's a 3-part workshop filled with stuff just like we talked about today. If you like this video, man, check the link in the description here. Sign up. It's completely free for a limited time. I'll see you in the workshop.